Hi there. So today I'm hoping to make a little steampunk house using this, what used to be a biscuit tin, and it's got a little light inside. I don't know if you can see that. I'm also going to use possibly these containers that held my husband's EpiPens. He's allergic to nuts and seeds. This was a mister for plants, but it doesn't work anymore. And I've got this cardboard tube to make a sort of funnel, periscope, something or the other. A range of resin, some embellishments. I may not use any of those things, I may use all of those things. I don't really have a plan. So far I think I'd like to use the EpiPen containers as some kind of fuel tank or gas tanks, oxygen tanks, I don't know, some kind of steampunk gadget anyway. And for me, the best thing for gluing these in place is Heavy Body Gel by Finnabair. It's a really good strong adhesive. It takes a long time to dry, so it gives you plenty of time to move things around, but once it's dry it really holds things fast. I'm just going to speed the video up now. There's no point in you spending too long watching me gluing. It's quite self-explanatory. I've got here a selection of resin that I've cast in molds, some by Stamperia, some by Finnabair. They're all sort of rusty pipes. I'm just going to play around with them until I get a bit of a configuration that I quite like. And I'm just going to keep going with things, keep gluing things on, moving things around and see how it goes. This is actually going to be a little bit trickier to attach because it's curved and also on a bit of a gradient, so there isn't a flat surface. So I've decided to use another piece of the cardboard tube. I've cut it in half and I'm using quite a lot of heavy body gel. I don't know if this will work. I'll find out as I proceed in the project if it keeps falling apart or not. Fingers crossed, huh? I don't like seeing the top open like that, so I'm going to cut a little piece of card in the same sort of semicircle and make a lid for it. Again, who knows if this will work. We'll find out by the time we get to the end. I know that at some point I'd like my little steampunk house to have a little garden area, so I'm going to put a little bit of card on here just underneath the funnel to make a base for when I want to add some maybe grass or toadstools, flowers or something. We'll see how that goes. And then I think I should leave it to dry for a while before I flip it over and do some work on the front. Okay, back shortly. So hopefully it's dry enough on the back and we can start working a little bit on the front. Again, I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I found this little metal guard station or hot thing, and I'd quite like to put this on somewhere. I'm thinking maybe on the front of the plant mister, and we can turn that into a little power station, and that could be the door. A little bit of imagination there. And much as I did with the back, I'm just going to start picking up things and gluing them on where I think they might look quite good. No doubt some things will end up getting pulled back off and moved around, but I'm just gonna go by instinct, I think, and hopefully it turns out okay. I'll speed up the video again and just leave you to watch that process for a bit. It's a little bit unstable and I don't want it moving around too much because the things on the back are not really that secure yet. So I'm just tucking a few little bits and bobs under just to hold it steady. finished gluing everything, I think, and I've let it dry for a little bit. And now I'm going to cover everything in black gesso. That always helps get a better idea of how it's all going to look, because it's sometimes quite hard to visualize when you've got different coloured elements and things that don't look like they belong together. So I'll probably give it a couple of thin coats rather than one big thick coat, because then it just gives a nice smoother appearance, not any lumps. But it's going to take a long time to get into all those little nooks and crannies and behind things, so I'll just move the video forward to a point where I've actually finished doing all my gesso. Well, I'll think I've finished. I always find gaps, and we'll move on from there. So there it is, all completely covered, well, mostly in black gesso. As I'm not really sure how I want to colour it. I think what I'll do is give it a dry brush with some white gesso to pick out highlights. And if I end up covering up those, it won't matter. But I'm going to do it anyway, just in case it ends up that they'll be useful. I also like to apologise. I seem to have my overhead lamp right in camera, which I don't usually. Hopefully at some point I will have noticed and moved it out of the way. So here it is, all dry brushed. I'm going to try to start off with by using mica powders. These are Finnabair's. I'm just going to choose some colours, and anybody who knows me won't be surprised to discover that I'm going for sort of teals and rusts and things along those lines. I think I'd like to give it a bit of a gradient, a sort of ombre-ish effect, and work up from the sort of charcoaly black up through the light blue to the dark blue. I'll see. So I'm sprinkling the mica powders on in the areas I'd like to see the colour. And in order to make the mica powders permanent, I'm going to spray over them with a water mixture that also has some gel medium in it, liquid, fluid, any kind of gel medium you have. Obviously the thicker your acrylic gel medium is that you're using, the less you're going to want and the more you need to dilute it. But by spraying the water and medium onto the mica powders, I'm going to give the powder something to stick with, and that should take them reasonably permanent. I just tilt the project around a little to help it flow, and then as I dry it, any lumps I see or pieces of the mica powder that are still too clumpy, I just blend them in with my finger. Obviously you can use a brush if you prefer. And here's how they look when it's dry. And I quite like this look, but it's not enough for me, so I need rust. I need rust with everything, and I'm going to use Finnabair's rust paste, and it's the red rust, probably on the cogs and the pipes. I don't know, just see where I fancy putting it at the time, because I do love rust. I'll apply it with a brush, but spray with plenty of water so that it blends well and maybe gives some drips. And it's such a pretty colour, and it goes really well with the blue. And everything that I'm doing here on the front, I will repeat on the back, but there's no point in me showing you that in the video. You get the idea of what's happening. I want to brighten up some of the flowers and toadstools in the little garden area, so I'm using some Sparks paint, some Finnabair Sparks paint. But it's of a very similar colour tone to the mica powders that I've already used. It just kind of lifts the flowers and toadstools and the little berries and makes them a bit brighter, and adds a bit more of that blue colour in areas where it was maybe lacking. probably can't read this because I really am a messy crafter, but I'm now going to use the patina green matte wax Finnabairs, because I'd like to give my roof a sort of third-degree copper look, and maybe add this in some other places, but I want the roof to have quite a lot of it and just show a little bit of that coppery colour underneath. And when there's not too much left on the brush, I can use that to dry brush over some detailed parts on the rest of the project. And as a little final touch, I'm using some of the metallic wax, the Firebird, I think that's what it's called, the Firebird, beautiful sort of orangey, fiery colour, just in a few wee detaily touches around the windows to pick out the frames and some highlights. A lot of things are still not secure. I've done a lot of work on it when I shouldn't have because it wasn't properly dry. But by tomorrow, everything will be secure. And there it is, my little steampunk house with the boiler room on one side and some kind of air conditioning funnel on the other side and a whole bunch of gas tanks on the back. I hope you enjoyed the video and you find it useful. Always happy to answer questions if you have any. Thanks for watching. Bye.